Hello, literature lovers. Today I am talking about Marshall Mcluhan. He was a Canadian philosopher whose work is among the cornerstones of the study of media theory. Yes, he was born in Edmonton, Alberta. Macmillan studied at the University of Manitoba and the University of Cambridge. He began his teaching career as a professor of English at several universities in US and Canada before moving to University of Toronto in 1946, where he remained for the rest of his life. Mcluhan coined the expression, a very famous one, the medium is the message, and the term global village, and predicted the World Wide Web almost 30 years before even it was invented. So you can see how visionary he was, and he was a fixture in media discourse in the late 1960s, though his influence began to wane in early 1970s. In the years following his death, he continued to be a controversial figure in academic circles. However, with the arrival of the internet and the World Wide Web, interest would be renewed in his work perspective. Talking about his famous works, during his years at St. Louis University, Mcluhan worked concurrently on two projects, his doctoral dissertation and the manuscript that was eventually published in 1951 as a book titled The Mechanical Bride Folklore of Industrial Man, which included only a representative selection of the materials that Mcluhan had prepared for it. Mcluhan's 1942 Cambridge University doctoral dissertation surveys the history of the verbal arts, from the line of Cicero down to the time of Thomas Nash. In his later publications, Mcluhan at times uses the Latin concept of trivium to outline an orderly and systematic picture of certain periods in the history of Western culture. Mcluhan suggests that the Middle Ages, for instance, were characterized by heavy emphasis on the formal study of logic. 2. Rhetoric and grammar. Modern life is characterized by the re-emergence of grammar as its most silent feature. A trend Mcluhan felt so exemplified by the new criticism of Richards and Lewis. Mcluhan also began the academic journal explorations with anthropologist Edmund Ted Carpenter. In a letter to Walter Ogg dated 1st May 1953, Mcluhan reports that he received a 2-year grant of $43,000 from the Ford Foundation to carry out a communication project at University of Toronto involving faculty from different disciplines, which led to the creation of the journal. There are so many works, including economic historia, related to Mcluhan. Indeed, the work of media was exemplified in different forms. In fact, in 1909, Tom Wall suggested that a major acknowledged influence on Mcluhan's work is the Jesuit philosopher Pierre Descartes, whose ideas anticipated those of Mcluhan, especially the evolution of human mind into the noosphere. Now talking about his another very major concept, as you can see, medium is the message. Mcluhan warns against outright dismissing or wholeheartedly accepting Descartes' observation early on his second published book, The Gutenberg Galaxy. In his private life, Mcluhan wrote to his friends saying, I am not a fan of Pierre Descartes. The idea that anything is better because it comes later is surely borrowed from pre-electronic technologies. Further, Mcluhan noted to the Catholic collaborator, the idea of a cosmic thrust in one direction is surely one of the lamest semantic fallacies ever bred by word evolution. That development should have any direction at all in convincible except to the highly literate community. Mcluhan's first book, The Mechanical Bright Folklore of Industrial Man, is a pioneering study in the field now known as popular culture. In the book, man turns his attention to analyzing and commenting on numerous examples of persuasion in contemporary popular culture. This followed naturally from his earlier work as both dialectic and rhetoric in the classical triennium aimed at persuasion. At this point, his focus shifted dramatically, turning inwards to the study of communication media independent on their content. And his famous aphorism comes here, the medium is the message. I hope you must have got an overall perspective. Do smash the subscribe button. Share your views in the comment section. Thanks for being part of it.
To our channel. Subscribe, 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 subscribe. I can't go above that, but seriously subscribe. It's right. The button's right there. To our channel. Subscribe, 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 subscribe.